Hello and welcome on Sports Updates. I'm Adeniyi Ajisafe. Well, time to take you around the world of sports. This time around, we'll be taking you through the world of AFCON because we know that Super Eagles will be playing at the AFCON. And right now, they are really saying they want to do it again. But before we start with our story, let's at least talk about our guest. Olorepita is here. Good to have you.
Thank you, Adeniyi, for having me back to the studio.
Yes, let's start with this first story with NFF. NFF parley clubs in Europe, different clubs in Europe, even in Nigeria, with clubs on early release of Super Eagles players, because this has always been a big one. Because anytime players are given call-up, it always some players always come to the team camp late. But right now, they are trying to parley with all the clubs that all the invited players for AFCON that are becoming Côte d'Ivoire, they will be at least they will be able to release this player as at when they so that they can easily be with the camp, the Super Eagles camp.
Okay, I think this is a good decision coming from the NFF, because most of the issue we normally have is lack of communication. We've seen in the past where the club will tell, will write that the NFF, they have not informed them of them releasing their players. So most of the time, the fault is not really from the club, maybe from the NFF communication department or whatever department that is in charge of seeking for the release. So this is very, very timely. However, they should also put into consideration the players also themselves, because you cannot be off from your league for a very long time. For
1 month?
No, for 1 month, it's going to be a lot. It's going to affect a lot of clubs. That's why in club, and I think about 2 years ago, I was talking about the reason why they shouldn't prioritize the AFCON, or they should try and change the time they're playing. And honestly, sincerely, I think I quite agree with him. And I agree with a lot of people that have been clamoring that we should look at a way where our AFCON will be played off-season. Like when they're going to play Euro 2024, for example, now, they play it after the season has ended.
So automatically it means ours should be coming like June, July.
Now, okay, now let's take it for example now, that they're going to have Euro 2024 starting in June next year. So what stops us also from having ours during that period? So at least all the players will know that they concentrate on their club, they have nothing to lose. Now, the danger of this is very simple. Now, you have a player that is informed. Umar Sadiq, for example, is informed for reasons that is doing very well now. And during the break, he's been away for a month. They just put someone that, okay, you go in and do the work.
And now,
and he picked up. And God forbid it happens, probably one of the players, they now had injury. Going back to their club, they still have to sit on the bench. But if all the league has been suspended, you have about 2 months or 3 months to do that. I think the CAF, they should try as much as possible to look into this because of the future of the players. But what NFF they are doing, I think is the right thing to do. They have that gentleman agreement with the club owner that please
release this player
at least a week or 2 weeks before,
so that they can have that camp.
They can have that, because see, no matter how good you are individually, when you're talking about playing for a team, you need to work together as a unit, not as individual. Individual brilliancy, we have it. But do we have that teamwork? We don't have that teamwork. So that is what it's really affecting us. And we all know also that most of these players also, they prefer to play for their country more than their club. I'll give it to most of Nigerian players. However, they are scared of their future, of what is going to happen to them if they make a wrong move by leaving their club without the due approval. So I think NFF, they've done the right thing, but they should just follow it up with a good, let me say, with a good intention. Not that you just say it, everybody will just sit back, and at the end of the day, nothing will be done.
So we hope that Super Eagles players that have been given the opportunity to participate at the AFCON will be able to get those necessary letters sent to their clubs for that quick or early release of those players there. Talking about Super Eagles playing at the AFCON coming up in Côte d'Ivoire, we are expecting them to do well. They've been talking that they want to do it again. Hopefully, it won't be just talk, it will be action supporting those talks there. Now, we come back home. Let's talk about football. Nigerian Football Federation trying to see how they can satanize Nigerian League. And right now, they've stepped down some NNL referees. About 2 referees have been suspended right now, joining about 4 that were earlier suspended. NFF stepped down more NNL referees. Just recently, the 2 referee, assistant, also center referee, that has to do with Ikorodu United match. They've been suspended right now. They just have to do something about it, because according to NFF, something must be done. We want to get our referees to that level where CAF, FIFA can invite them to refer games. And if we want to do that, we need to make sure the best of the best, both referee, center referee, assistant referee, linesman, everyone stays on top of their game, and that's why they are doing this. I think I love this particular.
I think this is a very good one, and that's what it says. Charity begins at home. If you want the CAF, if you want the FIFA to take you serious, you must show that discipline about your referee, and we know how important the role of a referee is in a football. They are the maker and they are the checker. They do and they undo. So if they don't have that discipline, and I think it's not going to be a very good one. So now that everybody knows that we have a new sheriff in town, if you do the wrong thing, definitely they're not going to wait for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. The sanction will come immediately. It's more like you are setting a precedent and you're telling others that, see, this is what I've done for so person. If you do the same thing, we don't even need to speak too much grammar. We just bring it out that this has been applied to so melted out to so person. You two will fall into the same thing. So I think apart from the NNL, they should also look at the NPFL also.
And even the NLO.
And the NLO also, because these are the people that will graduate to the NPFL. So if you don't check them right now, it will become a compounded problem by the time they get to that point. So I think it's a very good one.
In fact, recently, the issue of random testing of players also came up.
Yes.
NFF saying where they will randomly pick players to conduct tests to avoid issue of doping, to at least sanitize our league, because if it's not checked, a lot of players will go scot-free by going into doping, and they will play, add more value to their team, and nobody will know. So they are trying to checkmate all this, referee, doping, players' welfare and all that. Well, hopefully our league will get better, as we're talking about NFF trying to step down some referees who didn't perform as expected concerning the league. In the Nigerian National League there, Olaleta is saying they should also look at MPFL, their searchlight deeper to see all those referees that are not equal to the task, and they should be flushed out and see how they can get the best of the best in our football, or rather referee, to refer our games there. Right now, we'll move away from the NNL story. Let's talk about boxing. When it comes to boxing, 2 boxers in the world right now, talking about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, American, has really did well for himself in his career, but both of them want to make themselves to fight. But according to Deontay Wilder, the American, he says Anthony Joshua is scared to fight me. Both of them, they'll be having a fight before they meet. But from the way it is, he's already playing some psychological advancements towards Anthony Joshua, trying to talk into his head, say he's scared of me. But right now, if you look at the 2 of them, funny enough, Anthony Joshua defeated twice by Alexander Usyk. Deontay Wilder met 3 times with Tyson Fury, lost twice, drew 1. So both of them, the record they were holding, WBA, IBA record, and WBC, was actually taken away by these 2 men. And now, American Deontay Wilder is saying Joshua is scared of me. Is that a statement of fact, or just to put fear into Joshua? Okay, and it's a mind game, and that's what he's playing, and that's what he's doing. And I'm very sure Anthony Joshua is more experienced and more matured than that. And if you know Wilder, he talks a lot. Even before his fight with Tyson Fury also, he was making mouth and thinking that he's an undefeated record. Yeah, of course. He was undefeated at that time. Because at that time he was undefeated, and he has fought 42 times, and out of 42 he won on knockout. So that belief, that boldness. That, no, I've done this, that boldness. That confidence. I've fought 42 times, and 42 times is knockout. Nobody takes me to the. And the 2 times he fought with Tyson Fury won him, and he drew 1. And if you look at his record now, from the 44 fights that he has had, he won 42 on knockout. He lost 1 and he drew 1. He lost 2, he drew 1. He drew 1. So that is the record that is still doing what, helping him to brag all about. And if you look at Anthony Joshua also, he's a player, it's a boxer also, that knows what he wants. Now, the question is fighting Wilder the priority for Anthony Joshua, or there's another mandatory fight
that
against Otto Wallin or thereabouts.
Yes, that he needs to do before he can go back and challenge for his IBF title. So he has to choose between the two. Probably to him, it is not a must fight Wilder, because what is the fighting Wilder?
Let me win this one first.
Let me win this one first. Then after this one, both of them will be in Saudi by this week because they have another fight that they want to do in the bout. So, but to me, I think what he's doing is a mind game. Let him just talk. When we get to the ring, we'll do the work. But both of them, they are coming from a wounded side, both beaten by
Alexander Usyk
and Fury twice. So they need something to bring themselves back to the limelight. And Anthony Joshua is being very careful, because if he should go to this fight and he should lost, that will be the end of his career. The same thing with Wilder also. If you go into the fight and he lost, it's going to be the end of his career. So I think he's trading with care.
Now, if you look at the both of them, separating them aside, it has always been on record that, okay, we want to see Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, and also that's been kind of a dodgy affair. But finally, it's possible by 2024, we'll be expecting to see the two of them.
Yeah, it's possible by 2024, especially when the money and the pride is involved, especially when most of this heavyweight boxing is going to the oil money country,
Saudi
Arabia. So the promoters, everybody will have what it takes. So it's just to settle whatever they need to settle and agree on what they need to agree. Definitely, I'm very positive. Next year, we're going to see Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. We're going to see Wilder and Joshua also. So it's going to be very, very interesting to watch.
Big fights coming up in the world of boxing. If you love boxing, we're expecting those heavyweight champions, maybe former champions. Both of them have been conqueror of the world before. You look at Joshua standing at top, then IBA, WBA, IBO, and then you look at the man right now, WBC, talking about Deontay Wilder. Before that belt was taken away by Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk twice defeated Anthony Joshua, and right now he's holding that belt too. We want to see who will unify all the belts. Is it going to be Usyk? Is it going to be Tyson Fury? 2024 will be the one to answer those questions I just asked there. Right now, we'll move away from the pugilist sport that has to do with boxing. Let's go straight down to football. But this time around, we look at EFL Cup. Well, right now, let's look at the fixtures that will be coming up tonight. Well, Everton against Fulham. Port Vale against Middlesbrough. We have Chelsea against Newcastle. Big fight there, big match. Let's start with Everton Fulham.
Okay, and it's going to be an interesting one to watch. We saw what Everton have done for the past 5 matches. Despite the 10-point deduction, they are still
very seriously surprising.
They are still above relegation with almost 8 points. So if not because of the 8-point deduction, they'll be above Chelsea right now.
Maybe the deduction spurred them into performance.
Honestly, because probably that deduction is like, oh, come on, if you don't get the necessary point now,
you are done.
So we're going to be relegated. And this is not something, they don't want to be in the situation they find themselves last season and season before that. They escaped relegation and the last
by whiskers.
By whiskers, Calvert Lewis that scored that 9-minute goal. So they don't want to have that. So they've been very, very consistent. And defensively also, they've been very good. Fulham on their own side, I don't know what is wrong with them. Today they'll be good. Tomorrow they will be.
They are inconsistent.
They are not consistent. They are very, very inconsistent. And the fact that they are playing at Goodison Park, and since the issue of the point deduction, the fans base, the supporters of Everton, any team that played there is like you are going to Anfield. And Anfield is a place where no team wants to go because you know the
it's too boisterous. The support of the fans.
It's just too much. So definitely I give it to Everton. They're going to win the match.
Iwobi will be facing his former club. Against Everton.
Definitely it happens. It happens. So,
what are you expecting now? Well, you are actually tilting towards Everton from your body language.
Okay, yes, I'm tilting towards Everton based on their past performance in the last 3 or 4 matches. Then Alex Iwobi also, anytime you are playing against your former team, you want to show them what they are missing. So that I see happen tonight. Don't be surprised. You can get a goal or you can make an assist, but it will play very well tonight. So Everton is going to win the match tonight. Now
we go to the big one because it's more of like EPL, even though Everton, Fulham too. But right now, Newcastle away to Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, a big match there coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and it'll be interesting in the sense that if you look at Chelsea this season, when they are playing the likes of Sheffield United, Bournemouth, Luton, they can lose. But by the time they are playing the big teams like Manchester City, like Arsenal, like Liverpool, like even Newcastle, also you see them doing very, 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 very well. And if you look at the head-to-head between the two teams, they both met 147 times. Chelsea, they've won 78 times. They drew 40 times. And Newcastle, they've won 56 times.
So it means Chelsea actually have upper hand.
They have an upper hand. And today, they are playing also at Stamford Bridge. Though a lot of people say the bridge has fallen down. So there's nothing particular about the bridge again.
Oh, but
the two teams, this is the only trophy that they have to fight for this season. If they want to lift any trophy, this is the only one within their reach to lift. So, and with the coming on board, Christopher Nkunku for Chelsea was on the bench during the last match. So it's like a morale booster for the team. So I think I'll give it to Chelsea to win tonight.
A big match coming there between Newcastle and Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Will this bridge still stand up, even though some people say it has collapsed? And also Everton against Fulham at the Goodison Park. Also coming up, Port Vale takes on Middlesbrough in another game in the EFL Cup coming up tonight. Quickly, we move straight down to Europa League. Well, Europa League and Europa Conference League, they actually did their own draw yesterday also. Let's look at those round of 16 or knockout stage of Europa League. Let's look at the fixtures, or rather the teams that will be facing themselves. Feyenoord against Roma, or Mourinho, what will he be doing against a Dutch team? Let's see what will happen there. AC Milan reigns, Lens Freiburg, Young Boys of Switzerland, they will be taking on Sporting Lisbon, Toulouse versus Benfica, Braga, Karabakh of Azerbaijan. You have Galatasaray of Turkey against Sparta Prague of Czech Republic, Marseille of France against Shakhtar Donetsk of Ukraine. Looking at this, maybe we should do it the way we did it in the morning. Feyenoord Roma.
Okay, I'm going to give it to Roma because they have the experience and they have a coach that knows what it takes to win at this particular stage.
That's Jose Mourinho.
Jose Mourinho, yes.
Okay, AC Milan reigns.
Yeah, unfortunately they find themselves where they are not supposed to be, but that doesn't mean and they will just let it go off like that. I give it to AC Milan. They are likely to win tonight's match.
The match between Lens and France against Freiburg of Germany seems to be like 50-50.
No, I'm going to give you 50-50. You are right. It's going to be 50-50. Anybody's game. You blink, you lose it.
Sporting Lisbon, Young Boys.
Okay, Young Boys have been very consistent for the past 3-4 years now, so they have the experience. Then the Sporting Lisbon also, they too, they have been very consistent. They have the experience, and they have the player that can do when it matters most. So let's give it 50-50 also.
50-50 for Benfica. The experience could be counting against Toulouse.
Yeah, definitely, I give it to Benfica. They have the experience.
Okay, Braga, Karabakh.
Braga will Braga them a lot.
They actually show the class. Galatasaray, good one. At least let them show their bragging right against Karabakh of Azerbaijan. Galatasaray versus Sparta Prague.
Yeah, if Galatasaray can do it against Manchester United, and what stopped them from doing it against Sparta Braga? So I'm going to give it to Galatasaray. I
hope Sparta will not get the power from those Spartans. Marseille of France against Shakhtar Donetsk of Ukraine.
That's going to be a 50-50 also. Shakhtar Donetsk also, they've been very consistent, perennial participation in when it comes to this particular competition. Then Marseille also, you cannot just push them over and they don't know what they are doing. So I'll give it 50-50. Anybody's game.
Anyone's game in this particular group there. Europa League knockout playoff round draw that we just brought to you there. Now let's look at the Europa Conference League, the third tier of UEFA competitions. Europa Conference League, that's the third tier of UEFA competitions. Sturm Graz of Austria, they take on Slova Bratislava. Ludogorets Savage, Union St. Gilles against Eintracht Frankfurt. Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia takes on Real Betis of Spain. Olympiacos from Greece, they will be facing Hungary for Ferencváros. Bodo Glimt, they will be playing away to Ajax, or rather they will face Ajax there of that's another team from the Netherlands Eredivisie. Molde, Legia Warsaw and Ghent against Maccabi Haifa of Israel. Big one.
Okay, apart from Ajax, Real Betis, Maccabi Haifa, other matches, I'm going to give it 50-50 because they are a team that they are unknown. They are a team that they are facing themselves for the first time. They are a team that they are coming to this competition in Europe also for the first time. So they have nothing to lose, but they have a lot to win. So apart from the team I mentioned, others, I think it's going to be 50-50.
You mentioned Ajax against Bodo Glimt.
Yes.
You're so sure Ajax will win there?
Yes, I'm very sure Ajax will win. They have the experience. They have the confidence.
You also mentioned Olympiacos versus
Olympiacos will win that match also.
But funny enough, Ferencváros, although that was in the past, they've won the champions, they've dominated Europe.
Yes, they've won it before. And apart from them coming this season, when was the last time they came to play in Europe again? So that is actually what the issue is. It's about talking about this team in England that they are now in championship.
Sheffield Wednesday or thereabouts.
Yes, that they've won Champions League now. So it's like they are playing now, and you're not like, oh, because they've won it before. But who have been their performer for the past 10-15 years, they have not been there. So you can't compare them with the likes of Real Madrid, AC Milan,
they are
Inter
consistent.
Milan, and even Chelsea. You can't compare them with those teams that they have been very, very consistent when it comes to playing in Europe.
Anyway, let me not see what's on my mind.
No, just say it.
A Manchester United fan is actually coming for you already. Now, where will Chelsea play?
Chelsea didn't qualify, and I think it happens to Manchester United also in 2013 that they did not play in Europe at all. And the following year, Chelsea did not disappoint England the way Manchester United disgraced, embarrassed the Premier League by conceding 15 goals in 6 matches. That is totally, in fact, they should be suspended from playing in Europe, at least in the next 2 or 3 years. Let them get themselves together before going over there.
A big one there. A reply has been sent back to the Manchester United fans, so it's 50-50 now. Well, we just looked at the Europa Conference League knockout stage draws, and also the Europa League knockout stage draws. There are matches coming up. All the teams are battle ready. Who stays top, who blinks, and who goes down. Giving you updates in the world of sport on the show. Sports Update with Olawale Peters. We want to appreciate your time for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Adeni, for having me. It's my pleasure being here with you.
Yes, as we always say, that sport is business and fitness. I'm Adeni Aji Shafe. Thanks for watching.